Guys, yeah, NFL kickoff Sunday and the Monday night game, of course. We're going to be doing that today, so 15 games to preview. Yeah, it's going to be a long video, and yeah, you guys can just skip to each one you want. Either way, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed. This is a huge, going to be a long video, but of course, it's NFL kickoff weekend tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's there's 14 games on tomorrow, including Sunday Night Football. There's a big doubleheader on CBS and Fox. Check your local listings, of course. Either way, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy the video, and we're also doing the Monday night game too. So yeah, just so you know, I'll just add that in the description. Either way, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy the video. What's going on, guys? Back with another Keys to the Game preview. Gotta admit, right now it's late, so yeah, let's just get right into this video. First game, we got the Jaguars at the Texans here for Week 1. It's at 1 o'clock on CBS. Gotta admit, this is gonna be one of the most underwhelming games ever because, well, it's gonna kind of suck. I'll just tell you that because both these teams are very bad, and I'll just give you a starting lineup starting off for right now so far. Trevor Lawrence is going to start, of course. James Robinson, DJ Chark, Marvin Jones Jr., Laviska Shenault Jr., Chris Manhurst, Cam Robinson, Andrew Norwell, Brandon Linder, AJ Kahn, Jawan Taylor for the offense of the Jags. And then defensively, they have Malcolm Brown, Davon Hamilton, Roy Robertson Harris, and then Josh Allen on the D line. And then you have Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Damian Wilson, Miles Jack, and Caleb on Chase on the linebacking core. And then secondary is C.J. Henderson, Andrew Wingard, and then Rashawn Jenkins and Shaquille Griffin at their that rounds out their defense. And yeah, that's a Jag starting lineup for at this point in time. Now we go to the Texans. Texans are going to be a very bad team this year. Tyrod Taylor, Mark Ingram, Phil Lindsay, David Johnson, Rex Burkhead will all get carries. But either way, Mark Ingram's their starter with Brandon Cooks, Chris Conley, Anthony Miller, Farrell Brown, Jordan Akins, Laramie Tunsil, Titus Howard, Justin Britt, Max Sharping, Charlie Heck, Marcus Cannon, Whitney Merciless, and then the defense, Whitney Merciless, Malik Collins, Vincent Taylor, Jordan Jenkins, Zach Cunningham, Christian Kirksey, and Kevin Pierre-Lewis. The secondary, Vernon Hargraves, Eric Murray, Justin Reed, and Terrence Mitchell. And then Desmond King is their slot. And then, yeah, that's the defense that's the team for the Texans. So then we go into the keys to game. That's the lineup for the Texans. But then we go to the keys to the games. Jags offense, give Trevor Lawrence some time and let him ease into the game. I don't think he should have to make these crazy throws. And they got to run it at least 20 times with James Robinson. He needs to be the vocal point of that offense if they want to win. For the Jags defense, they don't have a very good defense. They have some really good players, but they have to get pressure on Tyrod Taylor, and they have to double Brandon Cooks at all times because he's their only weapon. And yeah, they want to get off the field quickly so they don't have to be out there and getting chewed apart, which won't happen, but they got to get off the field quickly because that's what one of their main concerns was from last year. Texans offense, run the ball and be efficient, deliver, and try to build a short passing game before they go take deep shots to Brandon Cooks. The only way they're going to win the game is if they do exactly that. They have to be efficient on offense. What I mean by that is they can't have any lost plays. They have to have some always positive, and has to be deliberate. They can't try to make all these big plays happening and they design these plays that are huge. They can't do that. They need to make a short passing game. That's been tough for them. But if they're able to do that and they get the ball to Brandon Cooks over the top, they'll have a decent game offensively. Texans defense, they got to stack the box with six players at all time, and they have to bring a blitz so James Robinson won't run all over him, and then they got to pressure Trevor Lawrence if they even don't have a chance of stopping them. Yeah, so the Texans are going to have to kind of do what the Cowboys did, except that it's got to be even more severe because their defense just doesn't have some of the talent that the Cowboys do. And for that reason, it's going to be tough for them to even have a chance as their defense being good. So their defense is going to have to be almost perfect in those categories if they want to win. Now we go to the Chargers, Washington, and I'll just tell you this. This game, it's at 1 o'clock on CBS. You can check your local listings, and yeah, it'll probably be on there. But Chargers, Washington, this should be a good game. Starting lineup is Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, who's questionable at this moment. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Joshua Palmer, Jared Cook, Gabe Neighbors, Rashawn Slater. No, not Gabe Neighbors. Jared Cook, Rashawn Slater, Matt Filer, Corey Linsley, Obisha, whatever, and Brian Bulaga. And then defensively, Jerry Tillery, Linval Joseph, Justin Jones, and then Joey Bosa, Kenneth Murray, Drew Tranquil, Uchenna Nwosu for the linebackers, and of course you have Chris Trump, who might get some edge play, and same with Kyler Fackrell. Secondary, Chris Harris Jr., Mike Davis, and then Asante Samuel Jr., Tavon Campbell, and then Derwin James and Nasir Adderley at safety. That's your starting lineup for Chargers. Now we go to the Washington's starting lineup. And it's actually going to be pretty interesting. They have Ryan Fitzpatrick, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Adam Humphries, De'Ami Brown, which is going to be cool to see. And then, of course, you have Cam Sims, Deandre Carter, and Dax Milline, the other receivers they have. But either way, Logan Thomas, Charles Leno Jr., Wes Schweitzer, Chase Roulier, Brandon Scherf, Sam Cosmi, all at the offensive line. And then for the defense, of course, you got Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Matt Ioannidis is on their team too. Montez Sweat, John Bostic, Jamin Davis, Cole Holcomb, all those guys, of course. I have one question though. Where is he? No, actually, those are actually other guys. I was thinking of Ryan Kerrigan. Either way, yeah, and then secondary, Kendall Fuller, Landon Collins, Bobby McCain, William Jackson III, and Cameron Curl also. So yeah, those are the two lineups. Sorry, it was just an update. Either way, for the Seahawks, no, not the Seahawks. What am I saying? Either way, now I gotta do the keys to the game, of course. But for the Chargers, it's really, to tell you the truth, their offense, they gotta move the ball through Austin Eckler, and then it has to be outside runs because their inside runs will not be successful at all. They might not even have successful outside runs, but I just know they have two really good tackles. Corey Linsley will be able to stop the pressure somewhat, and same with Matt Filer, but they won't be able to do like a ton. And they can't run the ball on that in there too. That just won't work. And they actually have more depth than you really think. I've seen that their backups. They have to go in. They'll do their job. It's a stacked defensive line for Washington. So for that reason, they're gonna have to move the ball through Austin Eckler in the passing game on screens, checkdowns, and any other way they can get him involved receiving wise, because that's his game. They got their short passes quick, because if they don't, they're about to get manhandled. And then, of course, if they can do it, and if it's there, they got to take a really nice play-action shot to Mike Williams, because he's their big play guy, and that's it. And then, of course, get the ball to Keenan Allen. And in the red zone, I forgot to add this, but in the red zone, they got to get it to Jared Cook, because he's really good in there, and yeah, he'd really help them. And then the Chargers defense, pressure Ryan Fitzpatrick, and definitely bring out dime looks on third down, so he can't take the shots he wants. So yeah, and then they gotta it's the run over the pass on defense. They gotta do that. It's gotta be the run over the pass. They can't be thinking pass over run for the linebackers. It just won't work, and they'll get hurt. I'll just say that. So they gotta do that. Washington's offense, simply run the ball 20 times with Antonio Gibson, at least give him 20 carries, and they'll be good. Target McLaurin at least 10 times. They got to do that too. Logan Thomas needs to get targeted 10 times, 5 times in the red zone. Yeah, because he's one of their biggest red zone threats. What I mean by that is not all these are going to happen, but if somehow they're able to get all these, they're going to win pretty convincingly for the Washington offense. J.D. McKissick needs to get screen passes and checkdowns, and you got to give him some carries. You got to give him at least 5 if you ask me. And then you got to give Peyton Barber the goal line and short yardage because he's their power back, and he'd really help. And then, of course, Ryan Fitzpatrick will let it rip so that Nasir Adderley and Derwin James can't just go out there and absolutely dominate their pass game. So for that reason, yeah, let Ryan Fitzpatrick let it rip. In the Washington's defense, same old, same old. Set the edge and let the D-line basically play man-to-man press with safeties playing over the top. So Justin Herbert can't just do what he wants, and yeah, then he'd have to wait, and then Chase Young and the D-line would do the rest of the work. So now we go into the Seahawks-Colts game. This is at 1 o'clock on Fox. Seahawks at Colts, 1 o'clock on Fox. It should be a really good game, if you ask me. Starting lineups for the Seahawks: Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, DK, Tyler Lockett, Freddie Swain, You might see some Dwayne Eskridge or maybe even Pennyhart. Gerald Everett, Will Dissly, tight end. Nick Bellor might go in there. And of course they have Rashad Penny, Alex Collins, and Travis Homer. O-line, Dwayne Brown, Damian Lewis, Ethan Pokic, Gabe Jackson, and Brandon Shell. Doesn't look that much different if you ask me from last year. And then, defensively, LJ Collier is going to start. Rasheem Green might go out with him. And then they have Punafort, Al Woods, and Carlos Dunlap on the line with Kerry Hyder and Benson Mayowa making some steps. Carlos Dunlap, of course, being a big guy. Either way. Jordan Brooks, Bobby Wag, of course. Cody Barton, Trey Flowers, Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, and DJ Reed round out the secondary. They also have Sidney Jones. You got to forget. People are just thinking that the secondary is going to be bad because they lost Shaquille Griffin. The thing is, you're wrong. You're very wrong. Yeah, they lost Quinton Dunbar too. I don't care. It's a really good defense. It's simple. Their secondary is really not as bad as people think. Their safeties are going to help them. And now we're going to go to the Colts roster or lineup, because it's actually kind of funky if you ask me. They've got Carson Wentz starting. He's going to start. Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman Jr., Zach Pascal, Paris Campbell. That's the big one. Jack Doyle, Malloy Cox might get some snaps. Julian Davenport will be in. Quentin Nelson is questionable. He's going to play, though, because they need someone to help out their left tackle and Julian Davenport. Ryan Kelly, Mark Lewinsky, Braden Smith, of course, all there. Defensively, Alquad, Mahembe, Kamoka Ture, Ben Bonogo, probably all going to rotate. Forrest Buckner, Grover Stewart, both really good players. And then Cody Pay is also going to get a ton of snaps at that right defensive end. First round pick. Darius Leonard, Bobby Okereke, Zaire Franklin are going to get snaps. Matthew Adams, EJ Speed might get snaps too. Rocky Yassin, Kenny Moore, Keir Willis, Justin Blackman, and Xavier Rose all at corner. Xavier Rose won't be playing, so Bo Pete Keys will be out there. So I don't really like that, but they're a little thin, I'd say it. The Colts roster, I just tell you that. So we're gonna go to the keys to the game, and yeah, so we'll just get right into that. And of course, we have the Seahawks offense to start off with. Seahawks offense, I want to be pretty simple with the Seahawks offense. You gotta take these shots to both DK and Tyler Lockett, because DK is not gonna be open every time. They gotta run the ball at least 15 times. As much as they're gonna have to get that many snaps too. They gotta run the ball at least 15 times. I don't care if it's with whoever you want, but they gotta run the ball. It's just because they're going to have to challenge the defensive line of the Colts. It's their best part of their team. Honestly, it's going to be the best part of the team, maybe other than their offensive line. But if they don't do it, it's going to really stink. I'll just tell you that. They're just going to, if they don't run the ball, it's just going to really stink, because then they'll just be able to, their offensive line will just get manhandled. And then Les is going to have to, and then Russ is going to have to throw the ball 40 times, because they got to let him cook. You saw what happened last year. When he stopped cooking, they stopped using him. But he's going to cook because he has to cook. He knows it, okay? Okay, got to throw it to tight ends if the deep passes aren't open. They didn't do that last year, and it ended bad. Will Dissly and Gerald Everett will get open, I'll just tell you that. And then Seahawks defense, stop the run by playing a zone run scheme. And you got to put Jamal Adams in the box 60% of the time. I ran a simulation where that worked really well. We got to pressure Wentz. And make sure he has to throw short to his wide receivers. If he throws short, they have the linebackers and the cornerbacks that are good tacklers to do it. Maybe not the best cover guys, but they will make the tackles. But most importantly, the wide receivers in a way that can help the DP. So basically, they need to cover the DBs in a way where they can be aggressive and communicate to get turnovers. Because if they're able to force turnovers, they're winning the game very easily. I'll tell you that. Now we go to the Colts. Colts offense, run the ball at least 20 times with Jonathan Taylor. You got to do that. And then Marlon Mack and Naheem Hines have to get at least 10 carries combined. You got to target Naheem Hines 5 times in the pass game. He's one of the best receiving backs in the NFL. Michael Pittman Jr. and T.Y. Hilton also have to get targets. They're going to have to get probably 5 times for both of them. And Wentz has to actually take some shots to Paris Campbell. He hasn't played in a while. They haven't actually seen him really. And I have to admit, he's their biggest deep threat. He's their biggest threat, big play threat for them, other than maybe Jonathan Taylor. They need to use him, and yeah, that's basically. And then for the Colts defense, it's pretty simple for me. Always play 2 wide safeties, and Kwity Paye, Alquadra Mohammed, Ben Bonogo, and Kamoko Toure all need to get hit after Russell Wilson. And it's basically a weak offensive line, and DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart can't be the only ones getting pressure, because that just won't be a winning way for them to happen. So yeah, that's the keys to the game for that next game. Now we got Jets, Panthers. Starting lineup for the Jets: Zach Wilson, Tevin Coleman, Corey Davis, Jamison Crowder, Keelan Cole, Tyler Croft, Mekhi Becton, Elijah Vera, Tucker, Connor McGovern, Greg Van Roten, and George Fant, and maybe Morgan Moses might go in, and Dean Haney. I don't know. Whatever. That's their offense. Defensively, John Franklin Myers, Sheldon Rankins, Quinton Williams, Bryce Huff's going in, but we know Shaq Lawson's going to be in there. Hamson, Nasir or Blake Cashman Moore, C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Jamin Sherwood. Cornerbacks can actually be, for the secondary, it's Brandon Eccles. I've seen him play. He's not a very good player at all. Lamarcus Joyner, Marcus May, and Bryce Hall, and then Michael Carter and Jelvin Guidry also in there. So yeah, their secondary is very bad, other than Marcus May and Lamarcus Joyner. It's so thin right now that they're gonna have a tough time stopping their defense, which leads to the next thing: the Carolina Panthers roster. At quarterback, of course, you have Sam Darnold, Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall Jr., Dan Arnold, Cameron Irving, Pat Elflein, Matt Paradis, John Miller, who's not going to play, Michael Jordan's going to go on a different one, and then Taylor Moton. I just got to check the Bengals. I want to just make sure that's the right one. So I just want to check to make sure I was right about this. Is that the actual Michael Jordan, or is it a different one? Michael Jordan got cut. Okay, so yeah, Michael Jordan's gonna start for the Panthers in Week 1. So yeah, then they got Taylor Moton, of course. Defensively, Brian Burns, Derek Barnett, Derek Brown, Daquan Jones, Davion Nixon, Bravion Roy, Morgan Fox, Churgos Montex. It's such a good D-line. Shaq Thompson, Jermaine Carter, Hassan Reddick. Secondary, Dante Jackson, Stanley Thomas Oliver. Keith Taylor, Justin Burris, Jeremy Chin, of course, and then J.C. Horn. So yeah, those are the rosters. And then we go to the keys to the game for the Jets. Quick, the Jets offense. They can't. Basically, I don't want Zach Wilson throwing the ball over 30 times. Yeah, I might tell me like his parent right now, but that's just gonna end bad. So just make sure he doesn't have to throw it that much. And I want them to have a lot of big plays. They got to run the ball a lot with their 3 running backs: Ty Johnson, Ty Johnson, LaMichael Pirine, and Tevin Coleman. They all need to get a lot of carries so they can. That's gonna have to be their offense, and Robert Saleh knows that. 10 yards to Elijah Moore. I think it's a simple rule. He's their most explosive player, so use him. And then of course protect Zach Wilson. Jets defense pressure Sam Darnold, and that makes him throw him CMC in the backfield. So they're able to stop that because they have the guys and personnel to do that. I know Robert Saleh. That's how he stopped CMC when he played against him the one time. So that's what I like about that's what I think their defense should do. Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. They can't let him get over the top. I know that's going to be tough to stop, but they can do it if they have two high safeties, which can work with a base personnel of 3-4 deep wide. So if they're able to do that, they're good. And, yeah, they just got to slow down CMC. They're not going to stop him. No one stops CMC. So, yeah, so just slow him down. Panthers offense, get 20 touches to CMC, and Chuba Hubbard 5 years. CMC should not be getting 30 touches because that just shows they don't care about himself. That's basically it. Terrace Marshall needs to get at least They need to get him some targets. He's their probably brightest player on offense, so they got to do it. He's such a good player. And then you got to take shots for Robbie and DJ. Sam Darnold can do it. Let's see what he can do. And then most importantly, give Sam Darnold easy throws to start the game. Statistically, every time he gets easy throws to start the game, he's good. If he doesn't, he just stinks. It's basically how it works. There's no up and down with him. If he starts good, he plays good. If he doesn't start good, most likely he stinks. Panthers Panthers defense, they got to bring heat to Zach Wilson. They have to run a QB contain because he will be able to escape the pocket. And then line up J.C. Horn on Corey Davis because he needs to be tested. And then Jamison Crowder needs to be lined up against Dante Jackson. Make sure the Jets they have to make sure they punt because if they don't punt, there's a problem. Yeah, because Mike LaFleur is gonna be the guy who's gonna be like, we're running the ball down their throat. So the Panthers have to realize we gotta force punts, and if they're able to do that, they're very good. Now for the Vikings. Bengals 1:00 on Fox. That should be a pretty interesting game to say the least. If you don't know me, I picked the Vikings to go 11-6 in the regular season. They're the most underrated team in the league right now. I'll just put that out there. They are a very good team that people are sleeping on. Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, probably D.D. Westbrook. I don't know. KJ Osborne's out there right now. Tyler Conklin at tight end, Chris Herndon, and Rashad Hill. You don't want him to be out there, but he's gonna have to be. Urza Cleveland, Garrett Bradbury, Elijah Bo'o, Mike Davis is gonna start, and then Brian O'Neill on the offense. Daniil Hunter, Stephen Weatherly, Michael Pierce, Dalvin Tomlinson, Sheldon Rankins, DJ Wanham, Everson Griffin, the Desert D line, Nick Vigils, Chaz Surratt, Eric Hendricks, Anthony Ball in the linebacking core. Then secondary, Brashad Breeland, Mackenzie Alexander, Harrison Smith, and then Xavier Woods and Patrick Peterson and Chris Boyd, all on the defense. That's their roster. I know it's a lot to take in, but yeah, that's their roster. Bengals, of course, they didn't have the greatest season last year, to say the least. Winning 4 games, they only won 2 through the first 13. Either way, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, a.k.a. the drop man, I'm joking. C.J. Uzomah, Jonah Williams, Quinton Spain, Trey Hopkins, Xavier Safolo, Riley Reef, and then Sam Hubbard, DJ Reader, Larry Ogunjobi, Trey Hendrickson, Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, Hakeem Davis Gaither, secondary, Trey Waynes, Von Bell, Jesse Bates, Chidobe Awuzie, Mike Hill and Ricardo Allen, Brandon Wilson, and Eli Apple are all the backups. Yeah, that's the Bengals roster. And yeah, so now we go into the keys to the game. That should be really fun. So for this Vikings-Bengals game, Dalvin Cook needs, for the Vikings offense, they need to hand it off to him 25 times. It doesn't mean they have to throw to him at all. They just got to hand him off to him 25 times. Because then that'll let Kirk just be able to throw it to Adam Thielen 10 or more times, to Justin Jefferson 10 or more times, and then make sure Adam Thielen gets 5 catches in the red zone. In my opinion, he's the best red zone wide receiver in the NFL. Yes, he's better than Devontae Adams and Nuke. He's just so good in the red zone. He gets open in there. That's his thing. And then don't let Jesse Bates make any big plays, because if he does, they're going to be screwed. I'll just say that. Vikings defense, pressure Burrow at every snap and be aware that the fact that if they're too aggressive, that Joe Mixon will hurt them. He did that against the Browns a couple years ago, and they really regretted it. And also make sure they can't let them throw it Joe Burrow throw it over the top, because he has done it before and it's hurt teams. I tell you that. There has been a couple of times, not in the NFL, but I've just seen it from him as a passer. He will go over the top if they're pressuring him. They'll just run some quick screen play action thing where the receiver will get wide open and it'll be a really bad play. Bengals even slow down Dalvin Cook. They won't be able to shut him down because that's basically impossible. They got to choose who to shut down, Adam Thielen or Justin Jefferson. They got to choose one. I choose Justin Jefferson, but they can still get the ball to Adam Thielen. They got to choose one to shut down. And they can't give up more than 30 points. If they do that, the Bengals are not winning. Simple as that. Cardinals, Titans are the next thing. That's me at 1 o'clock on CBS. This is going to be a shootout, I'll just tell you that. Kyler Murray, Chase Edmonds, James Conner will get some carries. Maybe, Benjamin. DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, Max Williams, DJ Humphries, Justin Pugh, Rodney Hudson, Josh Jones, Kelvin Beachum, all on the offense. Defensively, J.J. Watt, Rashawn Lewis, Leaky Fotu are the D-line. And then Chandler Jones, Zayvon Collins, Isaiah Simmons, Marcus Golden, all linebackers. Secondary, Byron Murphy Jr., Jalen Thompson, Buda Baker, Robert Alford, all the secondary. Now we go to the Titans roster. And I know it's a really long video, guys. You can, of course, just skip to your team in this game. Either way, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, Chester Rogers, Geoff Swain, Taylor Lewan, Roger Saffold, Ben Jones, Nate Davis, and David Questenberry, all on the linebackers. All on the offense. Jeffrey Simmons, Tamir Tart, Danico Autry, Harold Landry, Jan Brown, Rashawn Evans, Bud Dupree, Janoris Jenkins, and Nami Hooker, Kevin Byard, and Christian Fulton round out the secondary. Caleb Farley and Elijah Molden are also on that defense. In the secondary. Either way, those are the rosters. And yeah, pretty simple. For this one, it's gonna be just a shootout. It should be 30 plus points for both teams. I'll just tell you that. Who knows? It might not be. Kyler needs to get 10 carries. You need to let him get these keepers going because that's how their offense works sometimes, and simple as that. Diop needs to get 15 targets, and then AJ Green and Christian Kirk probably should get 15 combined targets. They're two really good players. They need to get it, which means they're gonna have to go through 30 combined. Okay, and then they gotta control the clock, and they can't keep. They just gotta make sure that the Titans they gotta control the clock so the Titans can't keep scoring on their defense because that could end bad. Cardinals defense limit big plays, and especially early. If they're able to do that, maybe they stop some, but they gotta either choose stopping the big plays on the pass game or Derrick Henry. I choose Derrick Henry, but that's their decision. Titans and then for the Titans, their offense. They got to give the King 30 carries. That's just simple. They got to do it. Julio and AJ got to at least get 20 combined targets. That's how it should work. So, yeah, that's their offense. It's pretty simple. Titans defense, get off the field quickly and and then by holding on third down. If they're able to do that, they'll have some stops at least. And then just stop the run. It's going to be simple. They won't be able to stop the pass. So, they at least got to stop the run. And, yeah, I'm just going to stop here, guys. So, yeah.